Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hotspur House. Today we're going to be going over the Plovdiv game, previewing the Southampton game, and then going over our new signings, of course. But we're going to start with the Plovdiv game. Charlie from N17 Nation is here. What did you think of that game, Charlie?
Very interesting game. I mean, there's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. I mean, it's really not that big a deal that we hardly won because we had a lot of chances. We could have won 5-1 if you look at it. And really, Plovdiv is a risky team to play because they're the kind of teams, these teams from these leagues that we don't even know which teams these are. And the way they play, they look for, the thing is, if you look at their attacks, they never tried to cut inside and then shoot or do something risky to make a better chance for themselves. Every time they had a chance to shoot, even from a really difficult angle, they shot. Because these kind of teams, they look for the goalie to drop the ball for something lucky to happen to them, and then they score. And really, they scored their second chance of the game, and it was quite kind of lucky because the guy headed it, and then it got to the other guy, and he headed it in. But then we came back. Obviously, 2 red cards, kind of shocking, but still, we came back and Bale with a goal, which is nice to see, and we win. So, yeah, interesting game.
Yeah. Today we're also joined with Bodhi from thfc.house. What did you think of the game?
Well, I can't really give my proper opinion on it because I didn't actually get to watch the game, but based on the highlights that I saw, it seemed like we played all right. It was nice to see Ndombele get a goal. That's all I can really say on it because I didn't get to watch the game, but happy with the result.
And you say, even for those of us that were able to watch it, we saw like half of the game. It was even worse for me. I was watching it through BR Live, and I missed more of the game than those of you that were watching through Premier Sports. So it was a bit rough.
I missed the whole second half, so tell me about it.
I only saw the first 10 minutes of the second half, so it was pretty much the same as the first half from what I could see. Really frustrating. But, you know, we got the win. It was a little risky, but I mean, that always happens to teams when you go in these small stadiums with these really intimate atmospheres with the fans going crazy outside. I mean, in the second half, you could see smoke from fans outside was coming into the stadium. So just hard atmosphere to adapt to, but we got the win. Kane got his goal. Ndombele got a goal. So, yeah, I mean, hoping to see more of Ndombele in the future.
Well, talking about the atmosphere, obviously, Bulgaria is a Balkan country. I live in the Balkans, and obviously we saw what kind of atmosphere they can have when we played Crvena Zvezda last year. And really, they really do not stop cheering for their teams, and it's quite intimidating. And I mean, we were lucky that Corona kind of helped us with this one because it would have been much harder if the fans were there. But still, who do we play next? Some team in Macedonia.
Yeah.
So, a few disappointing performances, I think. Højbjerg really, again, disappointing. I don't know what to say about him anymore.
I thought he was all right. I mean, he's still adapting to life as a Spurs player. He's never played in Europe as far as he played in Europe with Bayern, I think, for a little bit. But he hasn't been a core member of a squad playing in Europe ever. So it'll take him a little bit to adapt. Same thing with Doherty. I think Doherty is still adapting, but I thought he was better against Plovdiv than he was against Everton. Still, I mean, it was a tricky game, but I think we take the win and we move on, and we got to stay positive. Lots of reasons for positivity recently.
I don't think we should talk about this game too much. There's really not much to analyze. It was a decent performance, not that bad, not that good. So, we won and we move on to this next team that I don't know what it's called. So,
I don't think I could pronounce it.
Another poor team that we're probably playing, but still probably intimidating atmosphere. So we'll see about that. But let's move on to Southampton tomorrow.
So Southampton tomorrow. let's just start out with lineups. Who are you expecting to see? Do you think Dele will start?
No.
No?
No.
Who do you think's going to start in midfield for us?
I really have no clue. I think I'm thinking Dombele will start.
You do?
Yeah, I think Højbjerg will start again, and I think Lo Celso, if he's fit to play.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lo Celso did play against Lokomotiv, so I'd be surprised. And I think Lo Celso is a really, really important player for us.
It would have been nice to see Bale play.
That would be amazing, but no, Bale and Reguillon won't be ready for Sunday. We could see them. We'll get to them later. But so I'll say what my predicted lineup is. I think we'll go with the same back four, same Lloris obviously, then Højbjerg. I think Dele will start. I think his mentality would just drop completely. Like his confidence would be shattered if he got subbed off for the first half in our first game, and then didn't play in our second game. So I think he'll start.
Off the ball, he does a lot, but on, I don't think he does much.
Mm-hmm.
He's always in the right area, but he can't do anything with the ball when he gets it. It's just exactly the difference between Dele Alli back then and the Dele Alli now is nothing much has changed except he was able to make stuff happen when he got into the positions. Now he just gets it, and when he gets that confidence back, I think he'll be able to do it again. But it's just a matter of time, isn't it? I think he's feeling the pressure of the new signings at the moment, so just keep giving him chances until he performs, because he will eventually.
Yeah, I think Dele, even if he's bad on the ball, I think his movement off the ball is so good that it draws defenders to him and it opens up spaces for players like Lo Celso, Kane, Son, or Lucas or Bergwijn to get the ball in that space that he creates, and then that opens up the field for us.
He's a very good dummy. He's very good at being able to, if he's being heavily marked by two defenders or whatnot, he's able to move in a specific way where they'll follow him, and then it'll create a gap for the other players to run into.
I agree 100%.
I'm talking about Dombele. He has, immediately when he came on, I was watching it with a few other people, and I pointed out that immediately he was doing what none of the other players were doing before he came on. He was finding these through balls, these passes, even though some of them were a bit too strong and the players couldn't control them. It's still something. He's the only one in the squad. Even Lo Celso can't. He's the only one that can do that stuff, and that is the key to his play. And he really helped us when he came on. Changed the game, really.
I think when he's playing. Sorry, you can go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, I think Dombele has the potential to be one of the best center mids in the world. And I was talking to a Chelsea fan earlier today, and I said that, and they just broke out laughing at me. But I think for the Spurs fans that really follow Dombele, he does have the potential to be such a good player. He just needs to get the opportunities on the pitch, which means he has to be working hard at practices and working hard in the games as well. So I think he really does have bags and bags of potential, and he could be our best signing probably ever. But
I think on his day, he's the best midfielder in the team. I think people complain about his work rate, but you don't need to have a high work rate if you're that good on the ball when you get it. He's like the opposite to Dele in a way. He doesn't really need to. He doesn't try to get into the spaces. So that's why Dele and Dombele would work so well together, is because he's able to open up space for Ndombele, and as soon as Ndombele gets it, the flair he has, he can just beat like 2-3 defenders at once in a couple seconds. So
that's a really good point. Dele and Ndombele would play pretty well together.
Yeah. Oh, also talking about Dele's future, I mean, it's looking uncertain right now. He didn't join the team against Plovdiv. I don't know what's happening. I mean, on the start when Jose came and in the series, Jose seems to adore him and he seems to think that he has really good potential, but maybe something happened or maybe disappointed him in training. I don't know.
I mean, there was a bit of a I saw kind of like a parallel to how Jose was talking about Dele after the Plovdiv game when the reporters asked him why Dele wasn't there, to how Mourinho acted last season when reporters were asking why Ndombele wasn't playing. And so do you think Dele might be getting frozen out of the squad a little bit?
Well,
I think.
I also I also saw a report. I mean, the commentator of the game against Plovdiv, he said that Jose said that Bergwijn was actually supposed to start the Everton game ahead of Ali, but Bergwijn had a headache before the start of the
really?
game, so Ali needed to start. So I think the argument was actually with Ali before the game, not like. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Ali. But also, what I wanted to say when you said the thing about the Chelsea fan laughing about you saying that Ndombele is going to become an amazing midfielder. You see, that's the thing. That's what Jose should have done when Jose publicly said that he's lazy and that.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Ndombele kind of deserved it, but now all the fans, all football fans that don't watch Tottenham think he's absolutely shambolic. So,
Yeah.
and then when they actually watch the highlights of him, they change their mind. So
I agree with that. That's a good point.
Bodhi, what did
Which
you want to
attackers?
say?
Oh yeah, Bodhi.
Forgot what I was gonna say. Wait, before you interrupted, what were we talking about? Because I just completely forgot what I was gonna say from listening to you.
We were talking about Dele getting frozen out of the squad or not. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the in the Tottenham All or Nothing series, he's been called into the office by Jose a few times to say that, in training he's lazy. The difference between Dele and Ndombele at this moment, why Ndombele's been getting more starts, it's because he said that Dele he does a lot in the game, but in training he doesn't show enough commitment. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's a good point. What attackers do you think we'll start with on Sunday? I mean, obviously Kane and Son will be in the starting lineup, but Bergwijn or Lucas?
I think Bergwijn, because if what he said about the headache thing is true, then he'll want to be able to give Bergwijn the game that he didn't get to play.
Yeah.
Talking about the Southampton game, Southampton have been in bad form recently. I'm pretty sure they lost their first game of the season in the Premier League, or was it against Crystal Palace or something? I don't know. And then they lost against Brentford 2-0 in the Carabao Cup.
They lost to Crystal Palace 1-0, and they lost against Brentford 2-0.
Yeah,
they've yet to score a goal this season. That's a good point.
I think Bale's not going to play. I mean, there've been rumours that he's injured for 4 weeks. Tottenham haven't confirmed it. No, like good Tier 1 source has confirmed it. Has he?
Alistair Gold, yeah, he confirmed that he'll be out until.
That's unfortunate, I must say. I would have liked to see him against his old club, Southampton, but doesn't matter. I guess it's time for Bergwijn to rise up to Bale right now, since he's probably kind of intimidated. So I think but we will start with Bergwijn, Kane, and Son. Hopefully, I don't know.
I think that was our best attacking trio, and I think Bergwijn has to, if he starts, whoever starts in that position, if it's Lucas or Bergwijn or Lamela, whoever starts there, they have to have a great game if they're going to have opportunities this season. I mean, they'll have a few weeks until Bale is fit, but all three of them need to prove that they are ready to play and really compete for that spot in the squad. I mean, realistically, they're not going to earn the starting spot when Bale is fit. He's a 4-time UCL winner. He's going to start. But they can rotate in sometimes with Son. They can rotate in with Bale. They can get subbed on at halftime at the 60th minute of game to really make a difference. And I think we do have a future star in Bergwijn. And I think it'd be good to see him get a start in the Premier League. I want to see him have like a good full season. of getting opportunities. Yeah, I think that's what I think about that.
Yeah. Also, I would really like to see Reguillon start against Southampton. I really don't want to see Davies for a while.
I'd love to see it, but he's not ready yet. They said that that Reguillon
You
won't be
think?
ready, and yeah,
Oh, why?
I don't
Is
know.
he
He
not
probably
match
hasn't
fit?
trained with the squad yet, so
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Oh, Davies.
yeah.
Doesn't
I
matter.
mean, I think we'll still win. Davis isn't. It'll be a bit of a different system. I mean, same system that we've been playing with. We'll have to change our system to fit Reguilon, but I think Doherty will have lots of opportunities to score against Southampton. I think he'll be an important player. Kane is always an important player for us. But let's go to score predictions. What do you guys think about what the score is going to be and who's going to score?
I
I
want
think
to. Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2-0 to Spurs. I'm gonna say if Berg plays, I'm gonna say a brace for him.
Oh, a brace for Bergwijn.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My
What do you think, Charlie?
prediction. I want to say that we're going to get a clean sheet, but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think so with Ings and stuff. Even though Southampton technically haven't scored a goal yet this season, we're bad against Ings consistently. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to finish 2-1, not perfect, but we're going to somehow drag it out. We're going to score 2 goals. Kane and I'm going to say Kane and Lo Celso are going to score. And then Ings is going to score a nervy 82nd minute goal to put us on the edge of our seats. That's what I think is going to happen. But we're still
Classic
going to
Spurs
win.
style.
No,
Yeah.
I do.
You know what?
I think if you got to think about it, right? There's completely when we got beat and Ings scored, it was a completely different Tottenham squad. Like if you look at it now, Davies has been a lot more defensive. Obviously, like last time we played them, Davies was nowhere to be seen. It was only Sanchez and Alderweireld, and what are they going to do against Ings? But now that Davies is being taught to be more deep, he'll be back, so Ings will be marked a bit more. Not to mention you have Højbjerg, who we didn't have last season, who'll break up the play. So it'll be even tougher for Ings, and then you have Doherty, who isn't Aurier. Aurier's just up the pitch, like he's playing striker half the time. So when you have Doherty back, he'll drop into the centre back role sometimes, and then the Tottenham defense has gone a lot stronger this season.
I agree with that. Those are some good points.
That's why I think we'll get a clean sheet this game. Ings can do a lot, but Southampton's basically a one-man team, and we've patched up a lot of our squads, so it'll be pretty tough for him to find any open space on his own.
I'm gonna go with. It's gonna be an interesting scoreline, but it's probably not gonna happen. But I'm gonna go with a 4-1 Spurs win.
Oh, interesting. So we're going to score goals.
We are, yeah. I think Southampton are gonna score in the first 15 minutes off of a corner kick or a set piece of some kind, and we'll be 1-0 down. And then before halftime, Harry Kane's gonna level it up, and it's gonna be 1-1. And in the second half, goals from Lo Celso, Son, and Stevie Bergwijn, if he starts, are gonna wrap up the game. And I think I'd be happy with that.
I like the thought of that. That's cool.
Yeah, I do think that I think we'll concede not from open play. I think we're strong enough, like Bodhi was saying. We'll be able to break up the plays, but we'll give away a foul somewhere. They'll get a corner, and our set piece defending is just awful. It's shambolic.
That's something else to think about. Cal Walker-Peters.
Yeah, Sonny should be destroying. I mean, we all love KWP, but
No, I know, but it's interesting to think that not that long ago he was a Tottenham player, and now he's likely to be playing against us tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
it'll be nice to see him. I mean, I always thought personally that he could have broken into the Spurs first team, but I think that night in Barcelona really just ruined his chances after he gave
Yeah.
away the ball for Ousmane Dembele to score.
That was shambolic defending.
But yeah, I do think we'll win. I think it'll be nervy despite the scoreline, whatever it is. It's gonna be a tight affair because that's just how Spurs play. But I think we'll end with the 3 points, and we'll be confident coming into our week of Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, or Sunday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Hmm.
All right. Do you guys want to talk about the greatest thing to happen to Spurs in 12 years?
Oh no! Sorry, it's not better than the Champions League final. But after the Champions League final, definitely yes. Actually, I mean, like after the
Thing is, right?
after the
I was
Everton
going crazy.
game,
Oh, wait, sorry.
you continue. It's okay.
All right, okay. Well, see, when I first saw, like, it was like 2-3 days ago when it was confirmed, like, Spurs have signed Bale, I was screaming, going nuts. But now I'm kind of more calm about it. I'm thinking, well, the delay has kind of just ruined the whole announcement. It's still a great feeling to actually sign him, but it would have been nice, like 2-3 days ago to have signed him earlier, so that all the hype is still there. But a lot of the hype is calmed down because of
Of the
how
delay.
delayed it was.
Yeah.
And the Reguillon one as well. Barely anyone's talked about him because he's been outshined by Bale. I think he's a great player, and I think he's going to be
I
one
think
of the best backs in the
he's
Premier
going to be
League.
a very important player. Now, here's a question for you. Reguillon and Doherty, or Danny Rose and Kyle Walker?
What kind of question is that? Reguilon and Doherty all day. Kyle Walker was good on his day. He was quick, but again, his defending wasn't amazing. Rose was good, but he wasn't quite there either.
Well, it depends what you're talking about. Is it Danny Rose and Kyle Walker, or the Danny Rose and Kyle Walker now?
Yeah, Kyle Walker isn't very good for City anymore.
Okay, let's go with prime Spurs, Walker and Rose against.
Okay, well, that's easy. It's obviously Doherty and Reguillon. I'm joking.
I do think we have
Danny Rose and Kyle Walker all day. They were the best fullbacks in the world at that time.
Yeah. Before we really go into the Bale signing, I just want to talk about Sergio Reguillon, because I think that it is a amazing signing. Because obviously Gareth Bale, huge. He was my favorite player for years, and now he's back at Spurs. He's my favorite player again. But Reguillon is going to be massive for us.
I think Jose identified when he saw the game versus Everton. He knew straight away after seeing how Davies played. He knew he needed someone else, because the way Jose plays, he has a very defensive mind, and he's very tactical when it comes to like defending and then going up the pitch. And Davies, he's not like he's not good enough for what Jose's tactical plans are. So signing Reguillon like the next day is great. Oh, also a little off topic. I'm watching the live score here. Arsenal went up 1-0 against West Ham.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's annoying. Who scored?
Let me check.
Lacazette.
Oh, okay. At least it's not Aubameyang. So, I have a lot to say, and now I'll need a few minutes for this. So, Reguillon, he is potentially, after Robertson, the best left back in the Prem. I don't care what anyone says about Chilwell and Digne. Okay, Chilwell cost 50 million. We just paid 27 million for Reguillon, and all the Chelsea fans and Man U fans are saying, "Oh, you paid 30 million for a loan deal." Well, that's not true. The buyback clause only lasts 2 years, so if Real Madrid don't buy him back in the next 2 years, he's all ours. Plus, Real Madrid still have Marcelo, even though he's not a starter. and they have Ferland Mendy, who's better than Reguillon. I mean, he's young and he's one of the best left backs in the world. So they really won't need Reguillon. And even if they would want him as a backup for Ferland in like 1 or 2 years. He wants to be a starting player, so it's his decision. So I think he will stay here.
It does seem like he's a
definitely.
Spurs fan too. Like, I mean, like let's ignore the tweets on from Twitter from 2013 and just look how happy he is to sign for Spurs. Like Højbjerg and Doherty and Joe Hart were all good signings, but none of them seemed like half the level of joy.
Know English.
Well, no.
He doesn't even know English, and he was already studying.
Yeah, but no. Talking about that happiness and stuff, Højbjerg really inspired me with his speech when he signed. I'm sorry.
That's a good point.
I mean, I just don't think he's the kind of player that jumps around in joy. So he looks quite rough. So I think he's excited to join. But yeah, Reguillon looks very happy. I mean, Bale looks happy, but he's already been here, so he's just happy to have fans that actually accept him at this point. So Reguillon's class, and he'll definitely help us. Still don't know how well he defends, but I think if we sign Kim Min-jae, it will be very important for the Reguillon signing because he's similar to Virgil van Dijk, and I think Reguillon, Doherty, Sanchez, and Alderweireld is not solid enough because Reguillon and Doherty will be quite high up, so we'll need someone big, strong, physical, and quick, which is the main attribute, speed, because our centre backs aren't the quickest. And Kim Min-jae,
except for Sanchez. Sanchez is pretty quick.
Yeah, but
I get what you're saying though.
And also, actually, I won't be shocked if we do a bit of what Wolves do. I don't know what I think about it because it's technically a bit defensive, but a 3-5, no, like a back 5, but Doherty and Reguillon are
getting quite high up,
very high, and then in midfield we got Højbjerg and Ndombele holding midfielders, and Lo Celso ahead of them, and then Bergwijn, Kane, Son. I think that would actually work.
I actually made a post yesterday with lineups that we could use, and that was one of them.
Did I just say 12 players? I don't know. I don't know.
It is all good. So I think that an interesting lineup, I don't think that we'll necessarily use it, but would be a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2 with Bale kind of playing as like a center forward attacking mid, and then Son and Kane on in front of him, but then having, realistically, Eric Dyer will be in the starting 11, but depending on if we sign Kim Min-jae or not. But Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez is quick, and then Tobey Alderweireld, and then having Reguillon and Doherty really have the freedom to get up the field and provide opportunities. But another important, if we play with 4 in the back, Højbjerg is going to be very important because he's going to be sitting back, similar to Fabinho for Liverpool, with our 2 center backs.
The 2 of them,
I mean, obviously Højbjerg isn't quite at that level yet, but I think he will be.
Yeah, hopefully he can improve his levels of performances right now and get to a good level and really perform for us. But also talking about Bale, I actually think we might use him. I mean, I actually don't think we'll use him at right winger. I think we might use him as more of a. I mean, he can play even backup striker for Kane, but I don't think he'll be a starter every game because Bergwijn's young, so Bergwijn's a bit more of a priority. But at the same time, when he does play, he'll either be like right next to Kane, but a little bit lower, or even as an attacking mid. I don't know if he'll actually play on the right. I don't know.
I think he could play. I think he's going to probably rotate.
He can play anywhere at this point.
He can play a little bit on. I think he'll play a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right, a little bit at cam, a little bit at striker.
This man has played left back, right mid, left mid, right winger, left winger, cam, striker, centre forward, side striker. People never gave him the respect he deserved for being such a well-rounded player. 2-footed. Obviously, he scores more with his left, but still 2-footed. And I watched his Real Madrid goals recently. He actually scores quite a few headers. So he can do it all.
He's going to be an important player. I also think that Bale, I mean, do you really as any fan from any team, Son, Kane, Bale, and Lo Celso. Like, if those 4 are running at you on a counterattack, I don't see how we don't score every time. I mean,
I
we have
know what you're saying right now, but again, what Son missed against Plovdiv, it's still possible, even though Son technically has the best conversion rate in Europe,
Yeah.
which means he's the best finisher. He still missed that. So
I mean, it wasn't a
depends on
great
your luck
chance.
sometimes, but yeah, you're right. I mean, that's such a lethal attack. The front three, Bale, Kane, Son, some would say is the best front three
in Europe.
in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even the best front three we've seen in a few years, even though Real Madrid had a really good one recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this front three could... I'm going a bit over the top here, but this front three is potentially better than Liverpool's. Yeah, I mean, Salah, Mane.
You say you might be going a little over the top, but I'm going to take it all the way over the top. All right. So I'm gonna compare every player from our starting 11.
Don't tell me he's better. This front three is better than MSN, Messi, Neymar, Suarez.
No, I'm not going to say that. I want to compare player by player, our starting 11 to Liverpool's starting 11. So starting from goalkeeper, Alisson and Hugo Lloris. I think Alisson's probably a better player overall, but they're comparable. Like he's not levels above Hugo Lloris. I feel like they're very comparable. And then go to left back, Andy Robertson, Reguillon. Robertson is better. We don't know how well or how quickly Reguillon will adapt to the Premier League, but they could be comparable depending on how quickly Reguillon is able to adapt. Center backs, Van Dijk is obviously better. And then, I'm not a huge fan of Joe Gomez or Matip. I think Alderweireld. I'm a big fan of Alderweireld. And then right back, Alexander-Arnold, Doherty. Arnold created the most chances last year. Doherty was second most. So I mean, once again, comparable. Then you go into center mid. I don't personally rate Jordan Henderson. I mean, obviously he was the Premier League winning captain.
I always thought Jordan was quite overrated and not that good and should have been an England representative after he missed that penalty in the World Cup. But actually, I watched him and some of his passes are actually amazing. But again, he shouldn't be as rated as people are rating him now. Like, some people are comparing him to Kevin De Bruyne at this point. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he's as good as like Lo Celso. I take Lo Celso over Henderson every single day.
Oh, those are big words. I think Liverpool fans would slam you for that, but yeah.
I mean, Liverpool fans will slam you for anything. But then Wijnaldum or Højbjerg. Once again, Højbjerg needs to adjust a little bit. So Wijnaldum's a better player, but I think Højbjerg will get there.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Sorry, say that again.
Troy Parrott's better than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then Naby Keita, or Dele Alli. I don't personally rate Naby Keita. I don't think he's had a great year, or like last year. I don't think he was great. I could be wrong.
He really started to come out of his shell. When he played for Leipzig and he signed for Liverpool, I thought, oh Jesus Christ, we're gonna get smashed by him. But then he wasn't really performing. He wasn't even getting starting places.
Oh no! I need to say something about that.
And he became a really good player. So
I thought the same thing. But you don't understand. He's actually absolutely fantastic. Like I watched him in the last because he wasn't playing much for Liverpool. But then I watched his last few games of the season. His dribbling is out of this world. Just saying that.
I saw him for Liverpool and I just thought, like, my God, imagine what he could have done if he came to Tottenham instead.
I mean, he had 25 appearances in his first year. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. And then he had 18 appearances last year, and he had 2 goals and 3 assists. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Dele Alli had a better year last year and the year before that. So, at the moment, I'd say Dele Alli is a better player. I
wouldn't agree, to be honest.
Better player than what? Than who?
But then we can.
I'd say Naby Keita's slightly edge of those in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Naby Keita's actually more assured in midfield and he's more consistent because Ali.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? At the same time, you can't really compare Keita to Dele Alli because it's like comparing apples and oranges. They're 2 different types of players. Dele's more of a a centre forward. He's got flair, finish, and then Keita's take the ball from the CDM and then dribble it all the way to central attacking mid and create chances.
So what do you think about Naby Keita compared to Ndombele?
I think.
They're very similar. Well, Keita's technically been performing better slightly because he hasn't been as lazy as you could say Ndombele has been. But Ndombele definitely has more talent, and I'm not being biased. They both have potential to be some of the best midfielders on the planet. But I feel like Ndombele kind of edges him when it comes to actual talent.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to work rate, Naby Keita. When it comes to pace, Naby Keita. When it comes to consistency in passing and shooting,
We're going a bit off topic here, but yeah.
No, I know, but Ndombele is I think Ndombele has a lot more to prove, and I think when he finally gets his opportunities and he breaks into the first 11, I think he'll be one of the best centre mids in the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to say something.
Go for it.
So there's this thing I saw in this news report. Do you guys know who Jamie O'Hara is? He's a former Spurs player. And after the Everton game, obviously this before we signed Bale and Thingy, so it's a bit different now. But after the Everton game, he had this very interesting interview where he was really mad with Tottenham and kind of saying that we have the worst squad we've had in a while. So I would like us, it's only like a minute long, so I think we should I put it on because I really want you guys to react to it, your opinions on it. Okay, so here we go.
Well, I think it's the most average team I've seen in a long time. I mean, the performance the other day was pathetic. I mean, first of all, on the Mourinho interview, I mean, he's deflecting blame, but he's not digging someone out individually, which I don't like. I don't think you should dig out players individually. He's dug them out as a team. But at the end of the day, it's on him. He tactically sets the team up of how they want to play. And when I watched him, I was like, what are Spurs doing? What are they as a team? Tactically, are they pressing?
Remember this after the Everton game.
Are they free-flowing? There was just absolutely no identity in anything that they did. It was one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time. And it was they looked so average. It was unbelievable. If they carry on like that, they'll be lucky to get in the top half of the table.
Big words.
Whose fault is that then? If there's no identity, do they not know what they're supposed to be doing, or are they not doing what they're meant to be doing?
Well, it's a bit of both. I think the recruitment has been absolutely shocking. I mean, as Danny Kelly said, they haven't upgraded on any single player that's left the club. Every single player in the team, and I'll go through that 11. There's only 2 players that Spurs have got who would say who anywhere near world class, and that's Harry Kane and Son. Everyone else is completely average. No one else apart from Doherty come in. I thought he'd done all right, but he's being left exposed. Eric Dyer, because he plays so high up. He plays like a wing back, and in the centre half, Eric Dyer, who's got no pace, looked like he had a caravan on his back. I'm thinking, what are they doing? Like, seriously, what are they doing? This is Tottenham Football Club, and I think the All or Nothing documentary gave me a false sense of hope. Thinking, Mourinho's a nice guy. He's going to pull it out of him. He's going to make it happen. And now I'm looking at it, and I'm looking between the lines. I'm thinking, this is terrible.
And
this
is finished.
A bad side. You know what's happened, right? Is Levy got away with it for years because he had Pochettino, who got the absolute best out of them players. And then all of a sudden, it got to the point where.
So, what do you guys think about what Jamie O'Hara was saying?
Well, it was very critical, and that's why I wanted you guys to hear it. I'll let you say your opinions in a second. But what I found the most interesting about, obviously, went a bit too far with saying some stuff. Later on in the video, I didn't finish the video, but later on in the video, he even says that the team with King, Dawson, Asua, Koto, Bale, and Van der Vaart was better than the current team, which are big words. But he went a bit too far. But also, I think what he was saying about Levy getting away with it with not actually giving much money to Poch, but Poch getting the best out of the players. I think that's actually true because these
Yeah, I think
players,
that's spot
we
on.
were saying before in the podcast that it's like they've gotten worse. I'm thinking that maybe they maybe had 2 or 3 seasons where they were great, and now they're a bit lower in quality because Poch just got everything out of them. But
Yeah.
hopefully, obviously, they can get back to their best. But
Mhm.
players like Tobey, he's still a good player, but he's not quite at the level that he was.
Yeah, he's getting older too, so that might not be
Yeah, I know. But
Jose getting less out of him.
some players like Danny Rose and stuff.
Yeah, that
That's
is
what
the
I'm
best
talking about.
example.
Yeah. So that's a very interesting topic and could explain our recent decline. But hopefully, Jose is going to get us back up to that level and higher and win us trophies. But I want to hear your guys' opinions on what you just said.
Really,
Can I go first, or do you want
Yeah.
to go first?
you can go for it.
All right. Well, I think I don't think necessarily we've gone worse. I think it's just every other team has gone better, and compared
That's a good
to
point.
us, we've only made minor improvements. I do think to some extent the team back in 2016-17 was far better than the team now. I think we have declined a bit, but at the same time, we haven't declined like 60 million times as much. It's only been a little bit of a decline. It's just
Mhm.
that every other team has gone so much better.
Yeah,
that
I agree with that actually, because I mean,
the
in our
generation has become so much more tougher that it's difficult.
Mhm.
So but I think to some extent I think I agree with what you were saying. I do think some players just to some extent I feel like Jose is tearing the team apart a bit. But he has to do that to be able to build his
Yeah,
own version. So
that's a good point.
he has to take down all the pieces of the puzzle to rearrange them in the way that will suit him. But
Yeah.
then that means sacrificing players like Delhi, who would usually use loads of flicks and tricks, and then he just wants it to become basic 1-2 football, nothing pretty,
Mhm.
nothing beautiful, nothing enjoyable to watch, but something that will get the result.
Mhm.
So
And I think just going back to the point of the 16-17 being so much better.
if players
Oh
like
shoot,
Delhi, sorry, just
no,
saying,
go for it.
if players like Delhi want to progress back to their normal selves again, they have to leave Tottenham if before it's too late, because if they give it another 2 seasons and Jose's still manager at that time, they're gonna have lost all their talent, because what they have now won't suit Jose, and what Jose will not suit them. So if they players like Delhi or that any other player with who's mostly skill, if they want
Mhm.
to further their career, they're gonna have to leave before Jose turns them into mindless robots that can only pass and not use any tricks or anything. So
I mean,
that's why players like Reguillon and Doughty suit Jose, because of the height. They're strong, they're pretty quick,
Mhm.
and they're basic. They're nothing special, but they're sturdy players, and they can hold on to a 1-0 lead at the end of a game. So
I think it's very, very, very easy to be critical after watching a game like the Everton game. But I mean, I really want to believe that sometimes everyone has a bad day. I mean, sometimes it's
yeah,
just one of those days. Everyone played poorly. But I mean, you're talking about the 16-17 season. Obviously, that was incredible season for us. But if we go to the year before that, which was 15-16, and I think people would have the same point, like, oh, the 15-16 team was so much better than the team we have now, blah, blah, blah. But
It
I
wasn't.
mean,
They were just outperforming themselves.
well, no, but the league was so much, this league is so much better
Weaker.
now. I mean, just the team in 15-16, they finished the league in third place after challenging for most of the season for the title with 70 points. The league, last year, we
Oh
finished in sixth
wow!
place with 59.
I
And
have a
that
lot.
was after injuries and injuries on injuries on injuries. And I do think that we have a very, very talented squad. And I think we can get up to the heights of the 16-17 team. It may take a year or two, but we have the squad, and we have the hype. We have the world star. We have the Harry Kane, the Sung Heung-min, the Gareth Bale. We should be pushing for titles this year, and we should especially be pushing for not just an FA Cup or an EFL Cup. We should be pushing for a Premier League or a Champions League next year. And I think I could see us winning a major trophy next season. This season is less likely.
That's
but
the
I could
optimism.
genuinely see us winning the Europa League this year if we get I'm saying if we get a top tier centre back. Like, I know I got baited in recently. I got baited into a Varane fake post, and I got taken the mick out of on Twitter and Instagram. So that wasn't great. But at the same time, if you can sign a player of Varane's quality, someone who's quick. Like, I know that those kind of transfers are unlikely, like Koulibaly and players like that.
Mhm.
But if you get a serious defender that can play as in a role of like a Van Dijk, like maybe not exactly the same, obviously, but someone
maybe
around
the
that level.
South Korean Van Dijk.
Kim Min-jae. No, but if you get a top tier centre back, I
You're
could
really
definitely
loving
see
Kim
us
Min-jae.
winning. We could be serious contenders for the Premier League.
Mhm.
Not win, but in the top three.
Mhm.
I could see us win the Europa League this year. Not the
Well,
Champions League, but I could see us make the semis or the quarters again if you get those signings in. I think
but
you could use, although it's not what Bale's purpose is, but I think you could use Bale as a backup, as like an alternate striker for Harry Kane. What we needed was a player like James Rodriguez. I've said it before. We need a creative midfielder in that team. If we get,
depends how Lo Celso performs
if
this
even
season.
on loan, if we get Coutinho in and then we get another strong centre back, we could seriously be big challengers for the season.
Mhm.
So,
I agree with that. I mean, I
But,
think. Sorry, really quickly. Jamie O'Hara was saying, "Oh, Daniel Levy's he's gotten away with it for a few years," and I agree with that. But maybe this window is a sign. Hold on, I want to read a stat to you guys really quickly. But I think maybe this window is a sign of things to come, maybe for Spurs in terms of investment in the squad over the summers, especially after we have a full season with fans in the stadium. It was unfortunate the way it happened last year, but really quickly. So Pierre-Emile Højbjerg cost 15 million, Matt Doherty 14.7 million, Joe Hart on a free, Reguillon for 27.5 million, and Gareth Bale for 9 million. So the total is 66.2 million spent. And then you compare that to something like Kai Havertz, who cost 80 million for Chelsea, or Nicolas Pepe, who cost 72 million for Arsenal.
that's
or
great business.
yeah, it's fantastic. And or even Diego Jota, who cost 50 million, which is still 60 million less, but it's one player. And I think that Daniel Levy is frustrating as he can be. He is such an intelligent businessman, and I think it would be very silly of us fans to be calling out for his head. I mean, early in the window, I did, but he's really improved, and I think next year he could put the same amount of investment. I mean, how much did he spend last window? He spent 25 on Sessegnon, 15 million on Clark.
120, I think, something like that.
Yeah, 120. So he's starting to invest more in the team. And this season, I mean, he spent less, but we finished in worse places in both Europe and England, and we had less match day revenue. So I think we're moving into the place where we are a consistent big club.
So we're moving on to the end of the pod, but one of the most interesting topics I've heard on this podcast, maybe the most interesting, and I'm going to talk about this for a bit. When you said that the league's gotten better, and that you're so right. Like, Arsenal finished second when we finished third that year, and they were starting players like Kieran Gibbs and El Neni and stuff.
Yeah.
And Leicester won the season that league with what's his name?
78,
Drinkwater, Matt.
Oh yeah.
Drinkwater. So also I know this says. I mean, I know it's just a game, but also, if you've ever played FIFA ratings were much worse in the Prem back then than they are now. So You
Yeah.
can clearly see that football is getting better and better and better. And we didn't improve our team too much. That's why we kind of declined. But now that we're investing again, this is huge for us. And yeah, obviously the league's more competitive. I mean, look at last season. Yeah, Liverpool thrashed everyone, but except for Liverpool, the top 4, top 10 was so competitive. Unbelievable. I mean, even though we had a bad season, if you're neutral, amazing season to watch. I'm sorry. So, very interesting topic that. And yeah,
can I
I'm
just
looking
mention
forward
something?
to the Prem getting better and better from here.
Can I mention something quickly?
Go for it.
The Arsenal versus West Ham game is tied. It's now 1-1 again. Antonio.
Oh, let's go.
Come on. I mean, obviously we're gonna finish above Arsenal again. I mean, that's no question. But I think it'd just be hilarious if we finished like way above them. Hopefully they lose so that we get the win against Southampton and we're tied up with them on points. But I just said hopefully West Ham win.
Still better than Arsenal.
Yeah, it's still better
winning.
than Arsenal winning. But I do think
and it's the man Michael Antonio as well.
He did wear a Spurs jersey, so. But I think Charlie and I were talking about this, I think a few pods ago, but it is a very, very good time to be a Spurs fan. It's an optimistic point, and I think it's important for us to stay optimistic. Tomorrow is going to be an important game for our season. We need to show that we can win and win reliably, and then hopefully Reguillon will be ready to play either Tuesday or Thursday against Leyton Orient or the team from Macedonia. Hopefully he doesn't make his debut next weekend. But even next
we
weekend.
play Chelsea if we beat Leyton Orient, unless Chelsea don't beat Barnsley. So I'm actually happy about that because it's an early challenge in the cup, something that we'd like to win. But at the same time, getting out of the Carabao Cup might be a relief because I know it's still a trophy and I'd like to win it, but that's not what I want. I'm sorry. And getting out of it would mean less game time, which would mean probably less injuries. So I'm neutral about if we go through or not. But
I think it's a good opportunity for us to show how we're serious. First things first, Leyton Orient. First thing first, Southampton, and then we have Leyton Orient.
Yeah.
And then
let's not forget Colchester.
Oh, shut up. You never know with Colchester. Barnsley could beat Chelsea. Leyton Orient could. They won't, but they could beat us. But I think it's important. Everton was a good wake up. Everyone going into the game was so confident with, we haven't lost to Everton in however many years. Jose Mourinho's never lost at home to Everton. I think it's just a good wake up call that, like you're saying, the league's gotten better. It's a very competitive league, and every week you have to give it your all. You have to put your best players, and you have to give it 110%. And I think we can do it. I think we can really push to be in the Champions League this year, win the FA Cup or the EFL Cup, win the Europa League. We kind of funny. Sergio Reguillon has been in the Europa League twice and would win it twice. But Reguillon and Bale, huge signings, very good signings. I think it's a good time to be a Spurs fan.
Yeah, those are facts. Excellent time to be a Spurs fan. Hopefully we won't regret saying all this positive stuff if we lose to Southampton or.
Oh my God, that would be embarrassing.
But still, yeah, that's the optimism I want to hear from other Spurs fans. And also, just before we finish the pod, because we've pretty much finished, I just want to add a few nice things to hear. So, half time at the Emirates, 1-1 with 2 excellent goals in a scrappy first half. Arsenal sloppy in possession. Lucky goal from Lacazette. And here it says, find it mad how Arsenal have one player getting to a fully fit Spurs side. And then here, what does it say? It says that Ceballos, Kolasinac, and Ceballos has been poor, so that's a positive too because they just got him. So
yeah,
positive stuff for Tottenham, and yeah, I think that's the end of the pod now.
Anything else you want to leave us with, Bodhi?
Not really. Just that today's a good day to be a Spurs fan, and I can't wait to.
Oh, Bale just got the number 9, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. So Lamela stays with number 11.
Hmm. I mean,
yeah, but
I think
it'd be
Bale's.
good to be a Spurs fan, and I think tomorrow we're going to get the win. I hope to see. It's unlikely, but I hope to see Reguillon play. In all
Hmm.
fairness, Bergwijn did play like one day after he signed, so maybe the same thing will
That's true.
happen. So I hope to see him play. But other than
Yeah.
that, that's pretty much it. It's good. It
Hmm.
was a good day today. Long
Hmm.
overdue to see Bale and Reguillon
Uh-huh.
finally signed when it was
Yeah.
due like 2 years ago. But yeah, it's been a solid day. I can't
Hmm.
wait to see what's next.
Yeah. Our squad depth is amazing right now, actually. But yeah, it's a good day to be a Spurs fan. Thank you for
Yeah.
listening.
So positive episode. I really enjoyed that. So
Mhm.
yeah, see you on the next pod.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Hotspur House. Today I was joined by Charlie from N17 Nation and Bodhi from thfc.house. Tune in again. We'll be going over the Southampton game and previewing Leyton Orient relatively soon. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. We just got on that, and Spotify, as well as YouTube. Come on, you Spurs.